Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dominique Davis, also known as Brown and Bindi, and here on this channel we practice flexibility of the mind, the body, and the spirit. Today we are going to talk about how to release this attachment that we have to the expectations of others, how to stop caring what people think about you once and for all, because honestly, all of that energy that we put into caring about the opinions of others is a distraction from ourselves, and it's a distraction from our healing, and it is a distraction from our purpose. Before we get into it, let's go ahead and say thank you to our patrons, because this video would not be possible without them. So thank you so much, you guys. Thank you, patrons. Love you, love you, love you, love you. Okay, so how do we stop caring what people think? How do we find the resource within us to feel grounded when we are in scenarios where the opinions of others begin to blind our how sure we feel about ourselves? Because it's a spectrum. Like most things, how we feel about the opinions of others is a spectrum. In some parts of our lives, we're very self-assured and we're very confident, but in other parts of our lives, we can lack that confidence. And in the parts of our lives where we lack confidence, that's also where a lot of our lessons are. And if we don't feel that confidence, we tend to shy away from those aspects of our lives. So, how do we learn to feel grounded in all situations, in all scenarios, in all rooms? And how do we learn to let the opinions of others exist without those opinions determining how we feel about ourselves? Well, I think that it all comes back to understanding divinity and knowing that there is divinity within you. And I think that, that can be such a cliche thing to say, like, you're special, you matter. People can shy away from phrases like that because it's so cliche. But in reality, the phrases are cliche because they are true. You are so unique and so special because you were meant to be. I was in my group coaching. It used to be Sunday scripting, but now it's purpose-based scripting because we are shifting and we are evolving. But we were talking about our understanding of source. And I was saying that one understanding of source can be the understanding that we are all puzzle pieces. We all go through our past experiences in order to become the people that we currently are. And every experience that we've gone through was purposeful. There was intention by source for us to go through that experience. Now, do not confuse that with me saying that source can control people. What people did to you, that was all people, that had nothing to do with source. But in the entire picture, in the entire curation of events, source was present. And when you understand that everything that you've experienced was so purposeful to create the person that you are now, you have choices. You can choose to have a victim mindset and say, well, if I didn't go through this, then I wouldn't have this pain. Or you can understand that that pain has changed your brain so that you can see, have a very specific perspective that makes you into the specific puzzle piece that you are. And you being that puzzle piece is what determines how you live your life, but also how you affect the lives of those around you. And when you allow others to confuse you, when you allow others to confuse the importance of your puzzle piece, you can't fully be that puzzle piece. And when you're not fully living in yourself, if you're not fully embodying the person that you are, it creates all types of chaos, whether that is in your personal life or, again, whether that's for the lives of those around you. And you may find that the more that you run from your purpose, the more that you run from who you're truly meant to be, you may find that just nothing seems to go right. And that's because you're avoiding your flow. The only way that we can continue on our journey and walk on our journey is by being who we are meant to be. The journey is not going to open up for fake versions of ourselves. The journey is not going to show us different areas of growth, different areas of expansion, different areas of elevation for synthetic versions of ourselves. That's only available when we're truly being ourselves. And if you think to yourself, well, I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to be genuine. I'm a people pleaser. I'm always around so many people who have so many expectations of me. What I would say is identify where you feel most you. For a lot of us, that's with our partners. For a lot of us, that's with our closest friends. Identify where you feel the most like you, where you don't really change what you say, you don't change the way you speak, you don't try to people please, for lack of a better phrase. Identify the people that you can just be yourself with. You don't have to have that filter of, okay, I need to do this to be perceived as normal. Like the people that you're allowed to just be with. And if that's no one, if that's just when you're by yourself, that's the only time you feel like you can truly be yourself, then that's your truth, that's your reality. So that being said, know who those people are, whether that's just yourself. And then from that point, see if you can expand the group. So if it's just yourself, seeing if you can spend time with another person, or if you could go to work and if you can show up as who you are when you're alone, or if you can show up as who you are when you're with your partner. And this can be hard to do at the beginning because we can be so programmed to people please. But the way you do it is by, it always comes back to the breath, doesn't it? The way you can do it is by tapping into your breath and seeing how at ease you are. Because when we put on these fake personalities, when we put on the show, we're not at ease. We're not relaxed. We're not who we are to our core, to our essential being. Because when we're putting the show on, subconsciously, we have all of these things running so we can analyze what people want to see and so we can be that person. And when we're doing that, our body is not at ease. We're not relaxed. So, and I also want to point out that this also works for those of us who tend to, put our foot in our mouths when we're around people. Some of us, we are very chill and kind when we're alone, but because of anxiety and because of things that have happened in our past, when we're around people, we always seem to say the wrong thing, or we always seem to try too hard. This is the exact same thing. You are saying the wrong thing and trying too hard because you're trying to predict what people want to hear. So learning how to monitor your body, the state of your body, when you are expanding the circle of people that you can be yourself with. And then it becomes about continually expanding the circle of people that you can be yourself with, and expect for someone to feel threatened by you being yourself, because that is the nature of life. That is the way that we grow. Expect for people to resist you being you, because here's the thing. Everyone's not vibrating on the same vibration as you, but you cannot embody your vibration if you are resisting your own vibration to make other people happy. It's not possible. So the way to stop caring about what other people think of you is to understand that you are resisting your journey when you put more energy into what other people think versus all that you've learned throughout your life to be who you need to be. And I also like to remind myself that what other people think about me is a reflection of them. And I have so many people in my life who, love me for who I am. And it has not always been this way. And I find that when I look at my past and I think about when it was like a mixed bag of people, like some liked me, some didn't, some kind of liked me, some kind of didn't. When I lived in that area of my life, it's because I didn't really know how I felt about myself. And when you don't know how you feel about yourself, you're emitting that vibration. So you're constantly attracting people who do not know how they feel about you. But when you're so sure of yourself, which can only come from making the decision to be sure about yourself, when you're sure about yourself, You are able to identify immediately when people come into your, I don't want to say aura, put in the comment if you know the word I'm thinking of, but when people come into your radius, when people come into your life, you're able to identify immediately whether they're for you or if they're not for you. And this is so helpful because when you're not able to do that, you have this belief that people need to be perfect. You think that, oh, well, people need to be perfect to be my friend, to be in my life, to date me. People need to be perfect. And it's not about people being perfect. It's about people being able to align with your vibration. Because just because a person isn't perfect, if they see you and if they love you for who you are, personally, I believe that that's all that's required. Loving me for who I am and, having good morals. But that's the thing. I tend to attract people. The people who love me for who I am simultaneously also seem to have very good morals versus the people who love a version of me that they've created because it makes them feel good. You have to be able to identify that. But the only way that you can do that is by grounding yourself in self-love, knowing that you're allowed to be who you want to be. Even if you feel like the only person you're allowed to be yourself around is you feel like you can only be yourself when you're alone, that's an extreme lack of self-love because that's a subconscious belief that no one's going to like you if you're yourself. But the only way to have experiences where you can find people who align with the true version of you is to be that person. I was telling a friend yesterday, you got to go outside. And I know coming from me, that's so funny because I'm barely outside. But hey, I found my man. I found my kids. I found my kids. I made my kids. But she is single and she wants to find a partner. She wants to be in a relationship. So I was like, babe, you got to go outside. But I think that so many of us, we have all of these negative experiences being around people who do not align with our vibration. And instead of, and this isn't like about this young lady anymore, this is me talking about myself and like, anyone who can identify this. But instead of focusing on the vibration that we're curating in ourselves, instead of focusing on the vibration that we like to hold, what feels good, what feels expansive, instead of just focusing on holding that, we begin to allow the mixed bag of vibrations that we're attracting, we allow that to determine our moves instead of simply focusing on the elevation of the vibration that we like, that feels good. Yeah, so I hope this was informative. You are perfect. You are perfect. You are so divine because you are one with the divine. So unlearn anything that a parent told you, that a teacher told you, that an ex told you. Unlearn anything that makes you believe that you are any less than perfect the way you are. You may have behaviors, you may have thoughts that are all a repercussion of things that you've gone through in the past that you would like to unlearn. And that's okay because guess what? No one's perfect. And in your imperfection, you are perfect. You are worthy of being yourself. But this is something that we must consistently tell ourselves on a daily basis in order to give ourselves the space to heal, in order to give ourselves the space to evolve into the people that are proud of the steps that we walk in. We have to give ourselves that self-love to truly be ourselves, because the only way to evolve is to start where you are. And the only way to start where you are is to be your authentic self. So you can't let the opinions of others distract you from that journey. You can't, because it's not worth it. Because again, the way they see you is a reflection of what they want to see in you to reaffirm their own story. Okay, so I hope that this is helpful. I love you guys so much. Make sure that you give this video a thumbs up so people on YouTube know that it's valuable. If you'd like me to expand on this topic or expand on anything that I talked about in this video, let me know in the comments. And thank you so much, patrons, for pledging to the Patreon. And last but not least, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, click that notification bell so that you can become a part of the Bendy Bunch and become a reality bender yourself. I love you. I love you so much. Yeah. I will see you next time. Bye. Bye bye.